All right, this is recording 658. So this recording is going to be kind of long. This one is going to be more AIW me going back, looking at my childhood and paying attention to her stalking of me and her controlling my life. Again, my website is ChristinaStatia918.com. ChristinaStatia918.com. So anyway, this is going to involve the Manson murders. It's also going to involve her child trafficking. I try not to be explicit. I mean, I've had to at some point to be explicit about her child trafficking. But I try not to be because you know she trafficked children. She trafficked me. She abused me. She abused other children as a means, as a way, as an excuse, as a cover up to get away with doing the World Trade Center attack when she pre-planned to do the World Trade Center attack in the early 1900s, and she pre-planned to abuse me even before I was even born. And her first point at abusing me was when I was 2 months old. Now, if you've listened to her today talking to all her fancy, fluffy people, her fancy, affluent people that she's trying to get money out of and trying to sucker and fool, she's got a lie for everything that I say. If you can't tell that you're being lied to, I mean, there's no way you can't tell that you're being lied to. There's no possible way you can't know that Jean Jernigan Roberts is lying about everything that she says. It's a con. So anyway, so at some points I've had to be explicit about it to get the point across. This is how disgusting she is. But I think you know that at this point, because look at her running her con today, her ecosysteming it. She found a way to get away with it all, turn around and act like the hero of children everywhere, and do that how? By doing the same thing and shoving it down everyone's throats until people are at the point of puking. And then if you confront her, she goes, it had to be done. No, you do not have to steal AI. You do not have to commit terrorism. You don't need to sacrifice me. You don't need to lie about me. And no, you don't need to be abusing children as a way to claim you're saving children. You're doing that because you're deranged. But anyway, so I'm more trying to focus on the crimes that she has committed. And as you know, when she commits those crimes, she's either using ice rape or she's using manipulation of every different kind. Okay. And like I told you before, I call that getting lost in the weeds. I don't care about the details of it. I go after the leader, Jean Jernigan Roberts. She is the one. She is the leader of Charles Manson. She committed the crimes. She writes out all the little damn demon ciphers and runs a little symphony. You go do this, you go do this, you ice rape this, you ice rape that. You ice rape this person, you ice rape that person. I mean, she's the one, she's the executor, she's the constructor. She has her little damn demon seances beforehand. Okay, she is the leader of it. I turn her in. The CIA can figure out who's on the naughty and nice list. All I got to do is say, Jean Roberts committed this crime. And this is how I know. So, okay. So anyway, all right. So let me start at the beginning here. So this one's going to be kind of long. Okay. So in the 70s, when I was little, I was in grade school and I was living in Globe. And at this point, I was at the second house on East and Cottonwood. I was in early grade school. Okay. So I used to, I'm not going to say I don't know. She's trying to control my speech. She used robotic technology on me. Everything she does to me, she does on purpose, because I'm supposed to look back in time and remember this and that, or remember this and that. And then I decode it and see that she did that to me. And there's a whole bunch of terrorism and everything behind it. Okay, so when I was little, she used ice on me, and it was a couple of different times, to stick forks and knives in the sockets, in the wall sockets, the plate sockets. And I've like shocked the hell out of myself doing that. Like I turned like my whole hand, like I electrocuted my whole hand. I even tried to trick my sister, and again, that's ice rape that she's used on me and my sister. But I even tried to trick my sister into doing it because I just thought it was the weirdest thing. Just like when I was little, she used to ice rape me. Jean used AI on me to put my tongue on a battery, and I used to think that was the weirdest like sensation. And then I was told that's how you can tell if the battery's going like dead or not, if it electrocutes your tongue. So the battery on your tongue, okay, so that goes to the future silent war also. She's very obsessed with electricity. Okay, so anyway, connected to this, so with that being said, okay, so also what goes to this is all the socket codes. I already decoded all of this, okay? So there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with socket, okay? So you have socket, you have soffit, like construction of houses. You have where I used to call cotton balls and I used to suck my thumb, I used to call them softs. Okay, then there's all kinds of everything that goes with socket. So, and then all the socket to me, baby, socket away, like everything you can think of. Okay, so I decoded all of that. Okay, so, and it's all plans of her putting a sock on the door. Okay, so it's all her bragging about trafficking me when I was little and stalking me when I was little, and then her making money off of it. Sock monkey, sock puppet. Then they want to add that also into. Also, your Aunt Susan bought you a oh my God, what is a puppet? You know the puppets with the marionette strings? It was a flamingo, I think is what it was. And it was like the coolest thing in the entire world. So that goes to this, to the past, the present, future, okay? So anyway, so the marionette, the popsicle sticks or whatever, the thing, the handle thing, okay? And then later out comes Jeff Dunham. And then what's my stepdad's name? Jeff. And you know who she's obsessed with? She's obsessed with people named Jeff. It's one of the names that she collects. So, and then he comes out with his comedy, which I know a lot of people love him. And I know he could probably I hope he would probably want to cry over it. I don't know. I'm not going down that road, but I know it makes people angry just even thinking about it, because she used artificial intelligence on the pilots. She is the one who did the World Trade Center attack. So all this goes together. Then also another puppet that we had, I told you, which goes to future, present day to future. Well, I told you about the large spiders. Okay, so she bought, not she, Jean is trying to control my speech. My mom bought my sister, and again, this is ice raper, or my stepdad did, bought my sister a glove. It was like a baseball mitt, but it wasn't a mitt, it was like a white glove. And then sewn into the glove, into the palm of the glove, was a gigantic spider. Okay, and it was a puppet. So when you put your hands in the glove, your hands go into the spider legs, and then the glove actually sits on top of your hand. So you're moving the spider around. And it used to completely mesmerize me when I was little. And my sister would get like pissed at me because she's like, that's my glove. And I'm like, no, this is mine. And I was like, I always try to like take it from her. But anyway, that is future terrorism that's showing of artificial intelligence that she's using on wildlife. And I've already talked to you about the gigantic spiders that she's breeding. So that's all future, present day to future terrorism too. Okay, so with the socket code, okay, so you're going to also see all plate code that goes like Pontius Pilate, everything to do with plate, okay, everything plate. Christopher Columbus, everything, just CL code plate, okay. So the socket plate, and then you have SP, okay, CL code on everything, SP. So here's something else to point out. So the fork, I put the fork in it, and the socket plate, the fork in it, the knife in it. Okay, so what you have left is the spoon, and you know the spoon. She assaulted me when I was 4 months old with a wooden spoon. I decoded all of it. I was actually told that she assaulted me. I can see her, Jean Jernigan Roberts, assaulting me when I was 2 months old. I could see in my brain. Okay, and people played the footage for me in my brain, so I could literally see her doing it. And then at 4 months old, they said she also assaulted you at 4 months old with a wooden spoon. Now, you know that from earlier recordings. I've already talked to you about all this, and you know that all that goes all to Benghazi. Okay, so anyway, her future planning to do Benghazi. So you have the whole set. You have of the fork, the knife, and the spoon. Okay. So then also in this is UL, which is initials for electricity, and then UL, and then what also is L. L decodes to T. Okay, so UT, so Utah. Okay, so that's more evidence that she was pre-planning to do the Benghazi attack. Then also Utah, you also have Utter. And then you also have Yuletide, CL code on Yuletide. I decoded the heck out of that. That goes from early 70s from my childhood, and then it goes all the way back to the Holy Bible. Okay, so back in the 70s again. So then in that she has Yul Brynner. And then notice the BR. And then you add in OHM. Okay, ohms is the way of measuring electricity. Okay, and then also in that is she also links this or connecting to when I tried to run away in grade school and I chickened out and I got a paper bag and put thing of peanut butter and jelly and my Barbies by the door and was trying to convince myself to run away out the side door and never come back and go live in the trees. Okay, so this connects to that. So PB and J runaway. So then also in this, in the mum is mummy, MUMMY. And then you also have mum, which mums are flowers. And you have a mum's the word. And then you have that would connect to utter. Then you also have bread and butter. And then CL code with bread and butter, everything that goes with bread and butter. And then you also have, which somebody else pointed out to me, the invention of bread and butter pickles. Then also her killing Stephen Parent and Annie Folger. She also did this with my name. Okay, so she killed Annie Folger and she killed Stephen Parent. So Annie Folger, you know, she is an heiress of the Folgers dynasty, the coffee dynasty. Okay, so she also, Jean Jernigan Roberts also used cream and sugar. And cream and sugar would be my initials, CMS. Okay. So she's using So cream and sugar, so and your middle initial is M. So that MAND connects to your Mandy doll in grade school. And it also was wand, magic wand. Okay, so she did all of that. And also notice in the 70s, there was a rock band named Cream that came out. So also something else that she did, she either owns or came up with the naming of, and I'm pretty sure she owns, because you know how she is. She buys a baby, she gunny sacks, it's hers for life. She will not let go of me. I'm turning her butt in left and right. And she refuses to get out of my brain and body, and she refuses to quit stalking me and everyone I know. So anyway, you have Splenda. Okay, so note that has SP in it. Okay, and then you have the Stevia Sugar Company. So Jean did that too. Then also, see all code with the spoon. Okay, so more that I decoded on this spoon and going backwards. So Benghazi would have been going forward, going backwards. And even that, Benghazi, Betty Crocker, Benghazi, Bill Cosby. That's what that is right there too. So, okay, so going backwards in time, I decoded from the wooden spoon her killing John F. Kennedy Jr. and her also killing Marilyn Monroe. Okay, so this has to do with baking. Okay, she used a baking theme, and I had these little cards that connected to. My mom always got me all kinds of informational, like I always had books and like the stuff that you wear with the little information cards, like a miniature encyclopedia that you pull up the card and it's a different topic and you read all about it. So anyway, that connects the baking, and then remember the easy bake. So that all connects back to her killing John F. Kennedy Jr. and Marilyn Monroe. Okay, so, and then also Pillsbury, she used that too. It looks like Marilyn Monroe died of a drug overdose. She did not. She was killed. I decoded everything. I was in tears. I was so upset. I decoded the Medicaid. I decoded everything. I decoded the scene of the crime. I decoded everything. I couldn't even get it all wrote down. It was just flooding in me so fast. But I got a lot wrote down, and I traced some of it to, oh my gosh, it's a city in California. Something, I can't remember the name of the city. I've got it wrote down. I go back and I decode everything and it all connects. It connects Loma Linda. Loma Linda, California has something to do. I decoded the city. It has something to do with her taking Marilyn Monroe's life. So anyway, so now, you know how she hides under the American Indian movement. She wants to blame everything on everyone else. She just wants to run around committing murder and running trafficking rings and blaming it on everybody else is what she was doing, then hide under all these movements as a concealed cover up. So, okay, so I decoded Ted Kaczynski, everything Ted Kaczynski, okay? And I decoded his cab, and I decoded the heck out of everything in it, okay? So Ted Kaczynski is one of her people. So in his cabin, he had on the shelf baking soda, which means he was going to participate in this liar's game for one, BS. But the baking soda had a Native American chief. It's the maroon one with an American chief on it. I can't think of the name of it. And I knew when I saw it, when I was decoding his crimes, and I was decoding everything, it works and all that. I decoded everything Ted Kaczynski. Gene and him are in cahoots together. He's in Charles Manson with her. So anyway, I was like, I knew then that she was trying to hide the American Indian movement. So where it's showing that with the baking soda is he's saying American Indian movement, or she's saying American Indian movement and using the baking soda, but that's used for explosives. And that's also a link to them both doing the Oklahoma City bombing. And then what are they trying to do? Trying to blame and hide and blame it on everybody else? So anyway, something that's also the baking soda also goes to, because she hides under African American movements too, because she wants to get everybody involved with her, and she wants to get away with all this, and she wants to be the ringleader. Okay, so, and you know what, you know the atrocities she's guilty for against African Americans. So African Americans are wise to this. So Gene Roberts is acting like she's your best friend, then keep her as your best friend. Okay, so I've like broken my back backwards trying to communicate to people what Jean Jernigan Roberts has done and what she's really up to and the lives that she's taken and how she needs to be held accountable. But I'm constantly assured, just make reports until Jean Jernigan Roberts is arrested. So another thing that she did was the baking soda, the soda would connect to the soda fountain of the 60s. Okay, so remember the fountain shops and remember Martin Luther King? Okay, so what do you call them, sit-ins? How he would do protests and he would do sit-ins. Okay, so that connects to that, and that would also connect forward to Fountain Hills. And also note what else is in that SF, safe. And then also SF is in soda, baking soda chief is in that. So and then the fountain pen and fountain blue, that would also go back to the Blue Swing 1976. Okay, so then something else, some switching subjects here. So, but same kind of thing, but I'm just jumping to a different part of this. All these ciphers I'm decoding. So, okay, on the Calvin topic. Okay, so I told you my ex-husband was a Calvinist. Okay, and I told you she ice raped my ex-husband. She gunny sacked my ex-husband's family. She's sucking the crap out of them. And I told you the Calvin goes to Calvin Klein jeans from 6th grade when I was going to Pomeroy. Okay, so this is more, and you can see all code on. I'm not going all down all the road of all that, everything. Okay, so I just want to talk about Calvin and Hobbes. Okay, so Calvin and Hobbes, okay, is a cartoonist. Okay, and I actually got to meet the cartoonist in my brain and mental telepathy because he ripped the shit out of Jean Jernigan Roberts. And Jean still has the white peopling lie out there. I don't know how she gets away with it, but you guys know what the Calvin and Hobbes cartoonist did to Jean. So anyway, so Calvin and Hobbes also goes to Hobbit. Okay, so the Hobbit. So back to 1976, the Blue Swing. So the Christmas specials that came on were the Hobbit. I was obsessed with The Hobbit. I got the little book with the little record player and everything. I was obsessed with The Hobbit. My son, both of my children love The Lord of the Rings. Okay, so Hobbit also goes to habit. Okay, so habit. Okay, so habit in referring to the Catholic Church, a nun's habit. Okay, so you can tell that Jean Roberts is a Satanist. because she's using the nun's habit, which again connects to the blue nun. Later on, when I moved to the next house and I'm in grade school, see all code on the blue nun. Okay, so and then habit, that's connecting to her Synanon Manson plan of tearing up Alcoholics Anonymous and using them to hide under to wreak more havoc, and then it connects to Iran hostage crisis. It's all her, everything all the drug abuse. So she's using that too. So then also habitual liar. She used that. Okay. She used to. That was always in my childhood when I was little. So she used that. That's ice rape. Her ice raping speech, and I could see where she did that. So that connects to the Lord of the Rings. So Lord of the Rings goes to Family Circus. Remember I told you my favorite childhood cartoon in the newspaper was a Family Circus. And my favorite thing was every time the little kid went on a freaking discovery trail and you saw the little footprints all over the place. And I would sit real little and I'd be like following the footprints, tracing his every step, because that was signs of me in the future, which is me present day turning in Jean. And Jean thinks her footprints disappear and she gets away with it. And that's not the case. So in that, so this is like way back real old. So then you have Family Circus. So then you have the Barnum and Bailey Family Circus. So then you have Bar Num. Okay, and then you have Pink Floyd. And she used Pink Floyd's music as theming for her doing the World Trade Center attack also. And then you have Beetle Bailey, which you guys already know that. And then you have, which would connect to her, Charles Manson. Well, this is all Charles Manson. Stop trying to run away with my talk. Stop trying to control my speech. Okay, so Bailey, notice Bailey, and then they would say jail, bailing out her bail racket. So BL, okay, and then seal code on serial killers. Okay, so this would all connect to Alley Cat. So CL code Alley Cat. Then Isle Cat, AISLE Cat. So CL code there. It would also connect to Sounder, which connects to Arrow, my first dog. So CL code there. And then in that also is Sound Lord. So CL code there. And then Music Ring is in that. So she tries to make it or turn it into a music ring. But what she's doing is she is conning here, conning there. Secret. Everybody knows a little some of this, but not all everything that she's up to. And then she ice rapes artists. And then present day, everybody's like, oh my God. But they're really not. They freaked out. So it makes it look like it's music running a ring and they're not. Where at this point today, there could be people involved with helping her run a ring because she would have tried to force them into it. So, Song of the South, but every musician that I talk to in AI, they're like, I get like attacked based on Jean's lies, and then they they find out everything, and then they're not a part of it anymore. So they find out that Jean is guilty, and now everybody has my website, ChristinaStation918.com. So they can get updated. They can listen to my reports, because these reports go to the Secret Service. They can listen to these reports and they can know everything that's going on. So, okay, so then that goes to phone ringing, okay? And then that goes to horn. So get on the horn means phone, okay? So then something else that goes to this is phone tree. So I'm like, phone tree, that's a thing. That's like a really old thing. Because that's in here. I see it and I'm like, that's a really old thing. And I'm like, let me go see what this is. And there's actually things called tree rings, phone tree rings, and call rings. Okay. And then that would link to the old, Rolodexes. Rolodex. So then you have Rolos that would connect to cell code Rolos, and then that would connect to Dexter. Even that dexterity, your finger dexterity, the yellow pages, let your fingers do the walking. So you have Rolodex, okay, and Dexter was a serial killer TV show. And then she connects that to my first little boyfriend's best friend, Roland Guzman. So she's saying deck, his deck, like a skateboarding deck. So she's doing like this whole skateboarding thing because she's trying to make it look like skaters did it. I decoded so much for the skating industry. They were like freaking mind blown at everything I figured out. I mean, she really wants them under her freaking like maniacal control. It's insane. And they're like, Mrs. Robinson, leave people alone, please. So anyway, okay, so another thing that she was doing here with the deck, she means hitting someone, like killing someone, okay, like taking somebody out. So she's got him in this, but it's like she's killing people and she's using his name, like hitting people off. Like she's hitting people off using my classmates' names. Like what she does present day with me with all these little mic drop freaking things. And she goes, that's from all so-and-so, and that's from this group, and that's from these guys, and that's from this company, and this is so-and-so, and this is from all the everyone's. Okay, and then she goes out and commits crime, and then she goes, I'm Christina, I'm the one that committed the crime. And people are like, you stupid fucking hippie-ass fucking bitch. Stop saying, if you're going to commit crime with your Manson occult, you can do it with your Manson occult and use your own fucking name. Stop fucking doing that, impersonating people that you don't even know, or people that you assaulted, or people that you suckered. And stop speaking for people. So anyway, and then she would easily like claim it's a cartel because that'd be another easy thing to hide. So then also check Jean's lies on Vision Gator. Okay. Everything I decode and turn her in for, she committed all these crimes. Okay. But Jean's lies are useless and fruitless because all she's going to do is blame everybody that everybody always blames. And everybody's now finding out everybody that everybody always blames shouldn't be blamed. And I know that white power is like fighting everyone off. No, we're going to still blame everyone else. Jean's fabulous. It's everyone else's fault. No. You fucking did it, Jean. So anyway, this particular lies, whatever she has said, you're going to want to go check. Because you're going to be able to bust the bitch even more. So she killed his girlfriend, Mark. I think his name is Mark Gator. And then she killed his girlfriend. And as soon as I decoded, Vision Gator used to be my favorite skateboard. And another thing is how she used Roland Guzman. Okay, they were huge Powell Peralta fans. Both my first little boyfriend, Steve, his name was Steve Stubborn, and then his best friend, Roland. They were Powell Peralta. They love Powell Peralta, okay? They love Powell Peralta. So they use him because he was real tall and skinny. She used him as Lance Mountain. Not Lance Mountain. Wait, what are those boards? The Powell Peralta, Skull and Crossbones. No, I think that is Lance Mountain. I can't even remember now. The Powell Peralta, the one where all this Skull and Crossbones are skateboarding. I think that's Lance Mountain. But anyway, so she used him like as a model of that, and then it's supposed to be like present. You know how she does to me present day? Let me ice rape these people because they're a lookalike of what I want this to be, and I just want to terrorize you your entire life. I want to let you know that I've always owned you and I can do anything I want to you. And I can just ice rape everyone. So that's how she used him, where today he'd be like, I I'm going to keep that part. That's fucking cool. Gene, no, go to jail. Not fucking cool. I mean, that's probably what he's fucking doing. So anyway, so you want to see what her lies are, because if you go ask her if she killed his girlfriend, you're going to get lies. And he's still in jail. Hopefully he's out of jail. You're going to get lies from Gene's people, but you need to go listen to what the lies are so you can figure out more of what she's done. Go listen to what the typical brouhaha that she fucking said. Okay, so also she's using again ooze, blood spill. She also combined AIW 76 Blue Swing to January 72 when, okay, so I was 2 months old in January of 72. I was born in November 13th, 1971. Okay, so she's comparing the ooze from there for 2 months to the blue swing. So note 5 plus 6 is 11. Then later out comes jet blue, which fits into everything else. Okay, so it fits in the name of the company's name. It fits into everything else. Okay, which is perfect for her to hide under. But I'm supposed to go, oh my God, you fucking bitch. So you keep the jet blue, and then Gene Roberts goes to jail. So jet blue, okay, so it spawned from here, from the blue swing. And then also in this is her stalking the Bushes. And you have George Bush, and then you have Jeb Bush. And then in that you have Bluish, Bluesh. And then you have Bueller, CL code Ferris Bueller. Then you have Bush, and then you have Benghazi again. Okay, then you have Fontainebleau, and then you have Fountain Pen, and then you have Otter. And then you have, oh, that's something else I was going to look up. That's something else I looked up. Otter Ice, that goes with serial killers. Hang on. So this is all serial killing. So, that's all for that. So that's how you know she bore evidence that she did Benghazi and her trafficking and stalking of me and my friends and family. Okay, so then somebody was listening to me decode. They listened to my recordings and listened to me decode these ciphers. And then they went back and they're like, hey, Christina, she did this too. There's freezer pops called Otter Pops. Okay. And so I'm like, oh my God. So then CL code was Otter. So then they're like freezer. And I'm like, oh my God, she did not fucking do that. She sure in the frick did. Just when I think I can't be shocked anymore. So Otter Pops goes to freezer pops, which goes to Jeffrey Dahmer. And then that connects again to my childhood in the early 70s. When my Aunt Susan, when we went to San Diego, and my Aunt Susan's, my stepdad's sister, Susan Cook, she bought me Mr. Sketch scented markers. If you compare the Mr. Sketch AIW 7, the markers from the 70s from when I was little, and you compare those to Otter Pops, no, they connect. Okay, even the little dude, she's trying to make it look like it is the cartel. It's not the cartel that did that. So you look at everything, and then those two combine. So, and then the scented markers, they came in a white styrofoam box. So note the white box. So again, ice. Okay, and then Ice Cooler. Okay, and then San Fran, and then Manson, and then Safford, Arizona, then Saffron, then another serial killer, Roger Dale. Then that would connect to the Matterhorn, CL code on the Matterhorn. So it's 1974 to 1978. Then you have the Lorenz family. Then you have the Sirloin Stockade that has Saigon in it. So this is Gene Roberts doing. And Gene Jernigan Roberts doing. Because I look back and I see it. Because what is Sirloin Stockade? Or sirloin, that's a buffet. Okay, so that has SS in it. So you know how she hides under the SS. CL decode. Charles Manson, Zodiac Killers. Okay, so That was November 4th, 1951 to July 1st, 1995. Okay. So in that, you can see my birthday in it. You can see Riders on the Storm in it. You can see Death of a Salesman in it. And again, that goes back to the cipher I decoded where she was bragging about selling death. And I decoded out the words, "I sold death." So I decoded out where she was doing contract killings. Well, it's a literal murder confession on paper. And that connects to Death of a Salesman.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
That connects to Death of a Salesman when I was in 8th grade. I was in 8th grade. I was in 10th grade. That was when I went to Westwood. So anyway, Sallisaw is in that, and Sallisaw is in Oklahoma. So in this decodes DSATTHLZ. So Anton McVeigh is in it, Nathan Hale. Okay, so Nathan Hale is used as a theme, and Nathan Hale is a high school here in Tulsa. I never talk about Nathan Hale. My boys graduated from Nathan Hale. But Nathan Hale, not the high school, the Nathan Hale, the person, is used as a theme in the 1976, in the bicentennial year. It's 200 years. Okay, so it goes to the bicentennial. And remember, I told you 1976 equals 0. So then you have TT and HLZ, and then you have Dust Storm. You have Dissident, okay, which is one of Gene Jernigan Roberts' favorite words. Then you also have Descendant. She put in there, it's a punk band name. And then there's additional music in there. Then she also connects it. Remember I told you me digging holes in grade school in the backyard, everywhere in Globe? Okay, so the Disney Holes movie was made around my childhood, but she merges it into Flagstaff, Arizona. When I was in a group home in Flagstaff, and there was nothing, we were out in the desert pretty much. I mean, the high desert. And then she made us she keeps making, please stop controlling my voice, Gene Roberts. What is the thing called? The house mother or whatever. The house mother told us to go pull weeds, and I was all pissed off. I do not like doing yard work at all. I freaking hate it. But anyway, so we had to sit out there and pull freaking weeds and stuff. So she tried to merge my childhood of digging holes with the pulling freaking weeds in Flagstaff. So Flagstaff is merged into that, Flagstaff, Arizona. So that connects to Mad Hatters, and then that would be Matterhorn, and then that would be San Francisco Peaks. And that would be Purcell, and that would be Duracell, CL code Duracell. And then her fraud tours at the Pentagon, Department of Energy, and then all that links to 419, and then also to the Pentagon again. Also, another serial killer. Can you believe this? And you know what she did? There's a serial killer called Christine Laverne Falling. Okay, so on to the serial killers again. So then you have Buck Rogers, Aaron Rodgers, Rogers Folger, Roger Dodger, Draft Dodger, Green Bay Packers, Jeffrey Dahmer. Then you have, man, this is going on forever, and let me stop this recording. I need a break for a minute. Okay.